privy to a very rare event this week. I heard Dan Brown, of all people, in an interview on BBC's Hard Talk. I don't recall who the host of the show. They have 4 different hosts of that show. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah, I would look it up for you, but my internet's down right now. So just anyway, just go ahead. We're going to get it back up. We've got technicians working on it right now. But anyway, so just tell us what you know about it, because I'm familiar with this story, and it is a rare interview, and you've got some insight and some scoop on it. So go ahead.
Yeah, because he will lock himself away for months, perhaps years even, in some cases, to write these books, one of which was the Da Vinci Code, which was soundly panned by the Catholic Church, and they told all their followers, do not see this movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I know the plot of the movie, okay? Mm-hmm. So Dan Brown has this new book out. It's called Origin. Mm-hmm. Origin, you know where that's going, right? Origin?
Yeah, I do.
Right, so anyway, before the host gets on with the interview about his new book, Origin, he says, let's go back to the Da Vinci Code. Because the Da Vinci Code the premise of it is based around this group called the Priory of Zion. Have you ever heard of the Priory of Zion?
I have. I'm familiar with the Da Vinci Code. Mm-hmm.
Well, for those who don't, so the host says, the premise of the book was based around this group, Priory of Zion. And the host says, you are aware that has all been thoroughly debunked and exposed as a giant hoax. And I'll get more to that in a second, but the Priory of Zion is a fringe fraternal organization founded and dissolved in France founded and dissolved in France in 1956 by Pierre Plantard as part of a hoax. In the 1960s, Plantard created a fictitious history for that organization, describing it as a secret society founded by Godfrey of Bouillon on Mount Zion in Jerusalem in the year 1099. Now, he made all this up, right? And he conflated it with a genuine historical monastic order, the Abbey of Our Lady of Mount Zion. In Planter's version, this is the original version, the priory was devoted to installing a secret bloodline of the Merovingian dynasty on the thrones of France and the rest of Europe, right? The myth was expanded upon and popularized by the 1982 pseudo meaning fake, historical book, The Holy Blood of the Holy Grail, later claimed as factual in the preface of the 2003 novel, The Da Vinci Code. After becoming a cause célèbre from the late 60s to 80s, the mythical Priory of Zion was exposed as a ludibrium.
Okay.
What's a ludibrium? Ludibrium is a game. That's all it is. It's a Latin word. It just means game, right?
So what?
Created by Plantard as a framework for his claim. Now, this is important that people hear this. As a framework for his claim of being the great monarch prophesied by Nostradamus, right? Evidence presented in support of his historical existence and activities before 1956 was discovered to have been forged and then planted in various locations around France, et cetera, et cetera. Now listen to this. Last sentence here. The Priory of Zion myth has been exhaustively debunked by journalists and scholars as one of the greatest hoaxes, Carl, of the 20th century. And the book and the movie, Dan Brown's book and movie, were all centered around a giant hoax, one of the greatest hoaxes of the 20th century, the Da Vinci Code, okay? So the host of the show asked him about this. What do you have to say about that, okay? He says, well, at the time, I really believed that it was true. At the time I wrote the book, I genuinely believed it was, because his books are all listed in fiction, right? Science fiction and all that. Mm-hmm. But all of his books are based around beliefs that he holds to be true. Genuinely holds these beliefs. And he said when he wrote the book, he did some research and he genuinely held this to be true. So either he is the worst researcher ever, or he has some kind of misanthropic purpose to doing all of this for whatever reason. I'm not sure, but it's either one or the two. I mean, all of the evidence for the Priory of Zion being a giant hoax is readily available. I did 2 days worth of research and found it. It's a hoax. It's been debunked by not just the Catholic Church, but scholars and historians around the world have said this was a hoax ginned up to get some to get this guy's people in as monarchs into France and the rest of Europe. Here's the thing: this hoax it evolved into a greater hoax where, okay, so this Plantard guy, he was just trying to establish a bloodline, a monarchical bloodline, right? The great monarch prophesied by Nostradamus. He was trying to establish him and his family as in that bloodline. Well, the hoax evolved into a greater hoax, the bloodline of Jesus Christ, where, and this is where the movie takes over, where they claim that evidence has been formed of a bloodline between Jesus and Mary of Magdalene having children, and that bloodline is supposed to supplant the bloodlines of actual entitled monarchies throughout the world. That was the essence of the movie, right?
Well, let me just break in and say, so in other words, the final analysis is this guy is the world's worst researcher. He has made millions and millions and millions of dollars off the world's largest hoax, not only off the world's largest hoax, but a hoax that he now admits that he believed. Okay? But he's not called a conspiracy theorist. You and I are called conspiracy theorists all the time. And then when the so-called conspiracy theories that we were propagating turn out to be absolute fact and wind up in the mainstream media, of course, nobody ever calls and apologizes, of course, but we don't care. Right. I'm just saying. I mean, the hypocrisy of because the bottom line is, this dude, see, he's playing to the narrative of the leftists, so they've made him famous. The narrative of the leftists is there is no God. Jesus Christ is a hoax. The whole gospel is a hoax. The Word of God's a hoax. And so, therefore, the leftists promote him, prop him up, Hollywood, make him a multimillionaire, regardless of the facts that everything that was the foundation of what he was writing to is a proven hoax and declared to be one of the biggest hoax in world history. And his response, basically Hillary Clinton's response. Well, that's in the past.
Okay. Well, you're stealing my thunder here a bit. Not only did he buy into the original lesser hoax, he also bought into the greater evolved hoax of Jesus and Mary of Magdalene had children, and there was evidence of Mary of Magdalene's tomb, which has also been proven to be false, and that there is this lineage that came from Jesus and Mary of Magdalene, or Mary Magdalene rather, and that this lineage belongs on in certain seats of power, and that's what the movie's all about. And that also has been proven to be a complete and total hoax. And he said to the interviewer, well, at the time I believed it. Here's the greater point here, Carl, because this all ties into his new book, Origin, which he said that everything that's in Origin he believes to be true. And Origin is around this evidence that's discovered of proof of evolution. Finally there's proof of evolution because none exists today, right? So finally there's proof of evolution exposed in the book, and that's what the book Origin is about. And my point is this, Carl, knowing now what we know about everything written in the Da Vinci Code, would you not say that Dan Brown has an enormous credibility problem?
Not only that, but you didn't even know this, but I'm going to tell you. WND contacted me today and asked for my comments on that very story on Origins because he claims...
Really?
Yeah, he claims, Dan Brown claims that because of technology, we're not even going to need God anymore. All of that's just a bunch of junk. Technology is going to be our new God. Now, you got to remember, you've set that up perfectly. You got to remember the idiot that's saying this. I mean, the mentally deranged leftist, psychotic sociopath that's saying this. Yeah. But anyway, hey, Mike, listen, I'm going to put you on hold.